Hey, Wookiee.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. How about you?
Just hanging out. I'm in California right now. I'm usually in Connecticut. So, in a hotel room, just hanging out, talking to you guys.
What more could you want from California?
I'm happy to be inside and not outside because it is like 115 outside.
Good Lord.
Ooh.
I'm not sure why we
I
did
thought
this,
100
but
was
here
bad
we are.
here.
Yeah, it's 115 outside, but at least the AC works.
Yeah.
I thought it was hot here too. Never mind. I'll stop complaining.
Yeah, it's 115. It's hot. It's so hot that the 90-degree pool water feels cold. And I'm like, this is wrong. This is wrong on so many levels.
I've never swam in soup before, but
Mm-hmm.
well,
Sat in it.
before, yeah, I have sat in it, I guess.
You sat in soup?
No, I don't know what he's talking about. Before we get rolling, do you guys have any questions or anything?
Super?
No, not really.
Been here before, so I know what you guys are like. You guys are cool, so just
Thanks.
roll with the punches.
I've listened to a couple of the podcasts. I haven't actually watched the visual side of it yet,
There's lots of pills.
but Pez.
Tic Tacs.
Get the live stream ready, and then we'll just get going.
Awesome.
I muted myself to do the intro. That's awesome.
Are we up?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to VR Verdict Podcast, episode 122. Our weekly podcast where we talk about everything VR. I am PJ.
I'm Wookiee. This one.
And we're joined by a
Nicole
couple
Rigo.
of
Yeah, over here.
Yep, and Christopher Turk.
the AK Superfly.
Superfly.
I thought I recognized your voice though. When we were in the little after party when we did our meeting, you were the giant Furby guy spawning in like AI
Yeah.
He was.
generated Furby pics.
I was.
Some of
Yeah, I
those
didn't-
haunted me for a few days after that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Every
you
time I
should
go to
see
eat
the
ice
collection.
cream, I see Furby pics. I'm like,
Yeah, you need to see his Furby stuff because it's amazing. I love it.
So we're here talking to you guys. You guys both work on the MetaMovie, which we recently had a fun run in. Wookiee and I.
Yeah, you guys were amazing. You guys were amazing. We've had
Aw.
some of our 2 hero teams, and it's always a good. And you guys did some real creative stuff, like right from the get-go, like being in the same cryo chamber together for 2 weeks. Apparently, that was a nice touch in the beginning, and then we knew at that point, okay, we're going to be in for a little bit of a wild ride, and it was good, and we got to test some new stuff, and I think you're the first team that's a 2 hero team that went through it, where somebody had been through it before as a hero as well. I'm pretty sure that's the case with you guys. So it was definitely like, PJ trying some new stuff with you and seeing kind of what worked and what didn't.
Yeah, so the first time I did it, I was a spy bot, so I was just a little sidekick for anyone who hasn't kind of seen what they do. Non-speaking role, you're just flying around, blinking some lights, trying to help the actors out. Second time, I was the hero, and that was a whole new ball game for me. And then Wookiee and I did a duo, and that was just insanely fun. Like, I've done a lot of things in VR, and the MetaMovie what you guys do with that experience is still like the thing that I'm always thinking about, like weeks after, or months after. Like, that was so cool, and this and that. And so you guys put so much work into that. Like, it's insane.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks. We enjoy it. It's hard, but it's fun. It's definitely a good time, especially when a good hero or good duo comes through. It really comes alive. So thank you for coming and doing
Sure, you
that.
say that to all the duos.
Do we say that to all the duos? Well, the duos that we've had, it's funny because the people usually know each other, and so we had a husband and wife. We had, it's usually the people know each other, and so they kind of, they're friends or they're related in some way, and so they kind of bounce off each other anyway. And so sometimes it's nice because you can kind of just sit back and see what they bring to the table. Two hero shows are my favorite.
I'm trying to remember the husband and wife. It was
V Bunny and Hambone.
There we go. Yeah, Hambone the Wise.
Yeah.
And
they were fun. They kept going back and forth.
I'm particularly fond of that duo because I did a nice jump scare on V Bunny, and just her reactions were pretty animated, to say the least.
Nice. So again, for anyone watching or listening that hasn't seen the MetaMovie or know what it's about, I just have to say, like, you guys do such an amazing job, like onboarding people that haven't done it that come in to do it, making them feel like an actual, like, I wouldn't say maybe not movie star, but like star. Like Jason shows you like the background. Yeah, like the cameras and the audio, and then just how you guys are able to like riff off the person and just do your acting and your thing, and then at the end, like there's an after party, and then you put out the whole thing as an actual movie, and there's opening credits with like the person that did the role. Like it's awesome, like what you guys do from start to finish, and it's quite the experience, and I can't recommend it enough. So.
Thank you.
It's always evolving.
Yeah, we really, it is. And we definitely strive to make the person, whoever's the hero, and, to the iBots to a certain degree as well, feel really involved in the story and feel like, especially with the hero, that they're starring in it. It literally says starring you on some of our posters, and that's what it is. And on the acting side, it kind of helps me because it's not like I always get kind of nervous when you're doing a stage show or a scene or something and it's all about you, and it's like, no, I'd rather it's on the other person. And so I'm trying to make them feel feel good about the whole thing, and I can focus the attention away from myself and just make sure that the people that are going through the experience are having a good time.
Another thing, like, you guys do really well with the person that's participating. You play to what they want. Like, they don't have to say hardly anything. They could go over the top and kind of off the rails, and you guys just like work with it and make it work. It's so neat.
Yeah, it took it took a while to get that in the groove, I think, but we really do try to listen to whoever the hero is. If they're shy, try to get them out of their shell a little bit, but not force the issue, because it's just going to be that type of show, where we take a little bit more of the load in moving the action forward. And if it's somebody that's more outspoken, let them do their thing, let them have their fun in their way, play the game the way they want to.
Yeah. It was kind of neat to see from having done it to like getting ready for it for Wookiee, trying not to spoil anything or say anything, but just enough to like, this is how it's going to work. You can go big or not at all, and this and that. And then I'm like, they'll just kind of play off you, and your guys' improv skills are just like on a whole nother level.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. I like to go into like everything. I try to go in blind. Like people, movie trailers start coming out, and I go off the internet. And PJ in our own little Discord channel, PJ just made like a maybe spoilers channel. I'm like, unfollow. Somebody will come up and say, "Have you seen the new whatever Thor movie?" I'm like, "Shut up!" Like I'm leaving the room, kind of thing. So I kind of wanted to know like what should I come up with the backstory kind of stuff. And he's PJ's tight-lipped about it. It's like, you wear a mask. You want to know why you wear a mask, and like he was real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't watch. He had like the movie from when you started, and I'm like, I shouldn't watch that because then I'll know what's going on.
Yeah,
but it was still a lot of fun. Like like you guys made it easy. And if technology starts to not work for me, like I've been in NEOS a few times, and sometimes it freaks out for me, and I just go like flip a table. But the onboarding thing, like PJ was saying, was all smooth, and hanging out with you guys just made it easy just to go in and
Yay, that's so good to hear.
just have a blast.
We like to hear that
Yeah.
people felt like that, we just helped them along and made the whole experience smooth and enjoyable.
Yeah. Even though like my somebody who's my Quest 1 likes to be like, hey, you lost tracking, and then you guys were like the second skin like
Oh
issues,
yes,
and like
the second skin. The second skin
canon-
always has issues.
yeah, canon reason for it. And I'm like, fucking suit. But yeah, like that didn't even detract from the performance at all. Just you guys were off doing things, and I was trying to catch up. But it was great.
Thank you.
I'd like to have a tour behind the scenes to see what all you guys go through, because it sounded pretty must be touch and go, like nonstop. Like the camera, like seeing the movie version, like cameras, like somebody's invisible following around and getting the shots. And like a lot of coordination back there.
Yeah, there's the camera crew, headed by Carlos Austin, who's amazing.
He's quite a character himself.
And yeah, and the team, I think it was Sweet Victor and Projectivity that were doing it that day. I'm pretty sure for you guys, but yeah, it's basically like the two cameras, and then Marinda does some of the camera. Do you do some of the camera too, Superfly? I mean,
I'm on the system, and they'll probably be using me a little bit more once I fully upgrade our stuff in the background. So I don't have to clip through walls.
You do a lot of that backstage stuff, like the cues. Like Superfly is the showrunner, in addition to doing a whole lot of creatures and stuff. So you want to talk to them a little bit about the backstage, since we can't give them a tour right now?
Yeah, so I'm usually like at the beginning I'm one of the iBots, but as we progress through the different scenes, there's a lot of stuff that I gotta activate in the background. So that's kind of usually I try my best to disappear without being noticed. Doesn't work all the time, but usually I'll dip out, activate the current scene once we're in it, just because it helps keep track of if somebody dies, they don't get, like, if they respawn, it doesn't just drop them into the main lobby. It actually puts them on the same scene that we're at. So it's really helpful for, if actors get killed. I'm constantly getting killed. So, like, it's
we want to
so
kill you,
much
Superfly.
easier.
Just as long as you come back and help us.
So I am slowly upgrading that to where I don't have to clip out as much, but there's still quite a bit to keep track of. So and then as far as monsters go, I'll play some of the those little rat things, the Skirixes, and I'll do a qual every once in a while. Sometimes there'll be an extra qual, or depending on how things go, I'll either be the big drone, which I'm actually working on making an AI system for, so that I no longer have to be the drone. Yeah, or there's some other characters that I could pop in as. It's just depending on how the show goes. Depends on what I decide to do.
Nice.
In our run through, I shot one of those dog things, the
Skurx,
or whatever you just mentioned. Skurx. I'm terrible with those names. During the whole run through, you guys kept calling like I can't even remember them now. The whole goal to save the one
Zabanager
alien thing, and then all those other ones.
Zabanager.
And I'm like, Zabanager.
Yeah, that was pretty funny though.
If you watch my thing, I'm just like Zamunafu.
I mean, that's hilarious.
I couldn't honestly remember it. I'm like, I'm not even gonna try.
It's really funny because Cello has a scene like that with one of the monsters too.
The Bobantharian.
The Bobantharian.
Yeah.
He's like, Bob the what?
Yeah, the Bobantharian's the slug monster.
We're shooting lightning out of it.
Yeah, the laser, electric. Yeah.
Because you come up on that part, and there's like I just bumped a whole crap off my cat, a whole bunch of crap. There's a pit down there, and you guys kept saying that name, the name of that monster. I'm like, Babaran, like that old song. It's so nutty. Like, I suck with names, but so I shot that Skirix. Was that you then? Maybe in our
I
filming.
think it was Marinda, right?
If it's the first one, then that would have been Marinda. Yep.
Sorry, Marinda.
Well, I mean that's an important part of the show because, like, you know, when you encounter a creature for the first time and you shoot it or you don't shoot it, that actually changes things a little bit during the show. So
yeah, the path
that you're kind of set on at that point, in which you could change it, but Wookiee, you shot it and PJ didn't, so you kind of went on two different paths there. Pretty briefly, you got some extra content that I don't think you got the first time around, PJ. And
because I shot it the first time.
That kind of like, yeah, because you shot it the first time. So, and then that kind of led to some other improv kind of down the line. So yeah, like the choices that you make really do affect that. So yes, it's a Skirix, and yes, you shot it, and it affected the story. That's what it's about.
Blasted.
Yeah, you kind of blasted it.
It was a hoot.
I like that you don't explain that kind of stuff because someone's stepping into it. Like the first time I saw, I'm like, do I shoot? Like, am I supposed to do something? Like, what should I do? And then you guys just again play off of it, and then like that's the fun part. Like I've done it a couple times, so. Even the first time, like I wrote up my whole backstory and like why I'm wearing a mask, and I think I threw you guys for such a loop. Like you guys never asked me why I wore a mask.
We,
and I'm like,
you know, we didn't ask it. There was actually a reason for that. So it was one of the first times we were doing the Twitch commands, and I think that we were just kind of in a hurry to get away from that growly monster outside of Paul Nutter that we didn't get to it. And so like we kind of made some attempts to do some backstory stuff a little bit after, but it was like the moment had sort of passed, and so we kept going. But yeah, the Twitch commands, I don't know if that was the first or the second time we were doing it, but it definitely, they throw you for a loop.
I think that was our third run with the Twitch commands.
Yeah, and it had been 5 weeks since we had done the previous show, so yeah, we make mistakes. It happens.
no, I just thought.
But then it was this time we were like, oh, we're gonna go full backstory on these guys to make up for it.
So when you say Twitch commands, so anyone watching the movie live on Twitch, what kind of commands do they have, and how can they affect the outcome?
So there's a list. If they're on the Twitch channel, there's a list of commands that you can do. I'm not sure if it's clear per scene on which one, but I mean, you could just process of elimination, try one and see if it works or not. But basically, they just right now, all they do is just activate cues in different scenes. So like in Paul Nader, there's the explosion and the growl, and there's more as we progress. And right now, our mod has been the one that's been kind of triggering most of that. But the idea is we might do more with that in the future. We're just kind of experimenting with it right now. I do kind of like people's reactions to, where it sounds like there's animals running through the ductwork and, you're not quite sure what's going on. So I would definitely like to add more. But since I don't think we get a whole lot of traffic right now, hopefully in the future we can get more. So it'll be interesting to see on how people use it and possibly abuse it, so we know how to deal with that too, because there's always going to be that thing, and that's kind of what I'm curious about, is to see how it'll get abused.
Yeah. And it's cool. Like it can just
Yeah,
add
we'll be
some
on
more
the receiving
randomness.
end of it.
Yeah, it just adds more randomness because, like, again, I've done it 3 times and it's been different every time. But like things have happened at different times, so I didn't know if that was from that or just kind of hitting stuff when you guys kind of feel like it, kind of playing off or whatever. But I like total randomness, like that.
Yeah,
Well, we got
it's
that.
just us trying to get everyone who's like in the viewing experience, whether it's Twitch or an iBot or something. It's just more of an attempt to try to get more people involved with the whole thing.
Yeah. So how did you guys personally like get involved with the project? I know it's been going for I don't know how long you guys have been like launched to actually do it, but I know you guys have been working on it for a couple of years at least. So how did that all come about?
Mm-hmm.
I forced myself onto it. So back in High Fidelity, I actually backed the first MetaMovie Kickstarter or what the what I don't remember if it was Kickstarter or the other one, but I remember I was friends with Ken. And he was telling me about it, and I was like, "Man, this sounds like something I really want to be involved in." So I bought a ticket through the Kickstarter, and then I ended up being so busy with my job that I never got a chance to experience it. And then like I had my heart and soul like set on High Fidelity. Like I thought that was going to be the platform to go because I liked coding avatars and having like personalized avatar systems that that I could update on the fly. And you can kind of do that by updating your JavaScript for your avatars and stuff in High Fidelity. And then High Fidelity ended, and so I ended up going back to VR chat, and then somebody that I don't remember who, one of my old hi-fi friends got me into Neos, and like I first tried Neos and it was confusing, and then they upgraded the UI, came back, and then I loved it, and then I ran into Ken again, and that's when I was like, "Hey, you realize I still have a ticket for this thing, right?" And he's like, "Oh, well, maybe email Jason." And so I just kept emailing Jason. Jason's finally like, "Hey, well, we are working on this project now in Neo, so maybe you can come along, check it out. Maybe help the actors, go through their lines and stuff like that." And back then, it's a really interesting process because a lot of it was just blocks. So I ended up helping him out one time, and then I came back, and then I came back, and then I came back, and the next thing I know, Jason's asking if I want to be on the dev team, and then I became a showrunner, and
Nice.
now I definitely made myself part of the team. So
Yeah, indispensable. Superfly does so much on the show, and he wears so many hats, and it's like, and then any tech difficulties that arise, he can deal with them in real time, and he does an amazing job at that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I definitely try.
You do great. Let's see. As far as I'm concerned, I'll try to keep it short because it's been a long 5.5 years at this point. Jason's first project was in High Fidelity, but before the heist, and it was called a very old mystery in New York, and that was in 2017. That was a 20-minute thing, and I was involved with that as one of the actors. And then in the heist, I was involved in that, and I was acting in that it was like 2018 to 2019. And then, of course, there was the whole High Fidelity thing, and we switched over to Neos once High Fidelity no longer became really a supported platform. And so we started working on the Alien Rescue in really, really early 2020. And yeah, it's just we did our work in progress at Venice Film Festival in October 2020, and yeah, we did our full premiere at Raindance in October of 2021. And yeah, so I've been with the project the whole time before it was really called the MetaMovie Project. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.
That's awesome. So this, like the heist and the one before that, like, are those kind of locked to that platform and can never resurface, or are there any plans to kind of revisit or not?
We're not going to revisit those. A very old mystery in New York was really it was a one-person thing where the person that was the guest, which we at that time we called the VIP, actually was a child, and initially it was where the person followed the actors around, and there was some interactivity, but it wasn't the same. And then Jason's wife actually came in and played the child character and just started running around because she was really in character, and it was like, this is so much better, this is so much dynamic trying to wrangle this person. And so the interactivity grew and grew and grew after that, but it was really a test. The MetaMovie has started as and will always be, I think, a series of tests where you start small and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you kind of learn what you can from the show that you're doing in the present time. We're still learning a lot from Alien Rescue, so I imagine as long as we keep selling hero tickets and keep experimenting, it's going to keep going. The heist, we learned a lot. I don't think we'll revisit that because we learned the things that we needed to learn from it and applied it to Alien Rescue. And depending on what happens next, whatever the next project is, I think will depend on what we want to learn and how we want to expand. And we love Neos, but we may or may not stay there depending on how the platform goes. We love it.
Yeah, we were talking about platforms before we started because, like we were saying, you and Jason were on the podcast when we were in Spatial Ape, and it was cool. And Spatial Ape shut down, and we had to like retool and get this up and running. And Justin from Tab Games helped us get it going, and Wookiee's been working on it since then. And that's hard. That's like a hard thing to transition through. So, and your guys' stuff, I know you're growing over time, but is probably far more complicated than what we got going on. So I can only imagine how fun that was.
Just making it work in real time. Like, if anybody doesn't know anything about game design, everything breaks all the time. And if you're doing like a live theater production, everything's breaking on top of itself every minute, I'm sure. So that's just amazing. And then you guys just rolling with all that stuff.
Yeah, that's why Jason.
That's why I would just like to be able to,
That's why Jason sacrifices the Atari at the beginning, because we've just had times for everything. It's just like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I was like I said, I was the spy bot, and you don't talk, you don't do anything, you're just kind of checking things out. That alone blew my mind because I was just watching you guys act, and then like I think Kenneth plays
Baxter.
Baxter, yeah, I was trying to think of Axe, right?
Well, yeah, he prefers to be called Axe, so we could call him Axe if we want to be nice.
But I was so blown away the first time I was in there as the little floaty iBot, and I kind of got up in his face, and he started like acting with me, and I had, again, not talking, just floating around, and it was so impressive. I'm like, damn. So it was really neat just to fly around, check it out. Yeah.
All the actors love it when the iBots mess with them. I speak from experience. Hence
why
they
like
can
flying
die
through
now.
their legs and stuff, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, an active group of iBots is certainly fun, unless they're like right here in front of your face and they won't move, and then it's nauseating.
Wasn't it Fur that got like the iBots to actually listen to his commands? So he'd be like, go up, and all the iBots would go up and then down.
Yeah, he did a private show with all of his friends. So it's really cool when somebody does that. They bring in all their friends, and then their friends can either screw at them or be really helpful. And yeah, that's a group of people that kind of know each other, or some of them know each other. It's always a little bit more dynamic because those relationships kind of exist already, and they're not sort of artificially enforced upon the audience members.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I, like, when Wookiee and I finished our run, he was kind of saying like how it made him remember, like I don't know the exact how much you were in the theater club, Wookiee, in high school, but both Wookiee and I think I did sets way back when, like when we had a summer class in theater and stuff, and I did sets and lighting, and I think Wookiee did kind of a similar thing and maybe a little bit of acting, but he said it remind me of drama club or whatever it was, theater club or whatever, but it does. It's like you guys just
we did weird
acting.
Play. Yeah. It felt like that. I had to do it was a weird play with some mad crazy thing. I had to do 4 different parts. It was fun. I had to do all the backdrop and painting and directing it. So I was kind of like, hey, I feel like I know 10% of what you guys are going through, not in the digital space. Paint, physically paint stuff. But it was every bit of holy crap. There is no video game, no VR or anything that comes anywhere near close to the amount of engagement that this has. So it's everyone needs to try it. It did probably make you guys work overtime, I'm sure. But,
I'd like to do as many shows as possible. Like if we doubled, did 2 on Saturday, I'd be good with that. If we did multiple days a week, I'd love that. But it's a combination of schedule things and also financial viability, because if you don't sell iBot tickets, up to this point it's been difficult. So hopefully the whole Twitch thing will help with that a little. Keep the project up and running and moving and successful. Get some eyeballs on it.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone needs to go and do it. It'd be neat if you could, have I bought tickets for the mobile platform. If you could just go in and zoom around, however you guys need to go stick it, that would be great.
Yeah, the iBot tickets, you can do desktop PC, so that's a thing. So if you don't have a headset, even you can come in on your desktop PC, and the technical specifications for that I don't think are very high. It's as long as it's a PC and it's got something of a graphics card, it's a decent experience as an iBot. So yeah, come on in on the desktop computer if you want. I mean, it's very, very doable. It's fun. It's not as immersive as VR, but it's definitely worth it. So come on in. We usually have iBot tickets available. Please come to our show.
It really is fun. I gotta try an iBot to see what it looks like and what's different about it. And I'm tempted to just run through a few more times as the hero. I'm sure with all the branching trees, and you guys are handing out awards for finding all the crap. I'm like, oh, I probably should have. Usually I look around everywhere, but I didn't want to hold everybody up. So I'm just like, oh, running. But I'm like, what's in that corner?
I think the iBots get a lot more freedom. I think I would like an iBot ticket because I like to kind of wander around in these kinds of experiences and just kind of be weird and creepy like a fly on the wall. In these kinds of things, I tend to like to watch and kind of analyze it. And so and if the iBots are away from us and they're kind of staying to themselves, we kind of take that as a hint. And also, if you're coming in and you want to do the iBot thing, but you're really not sure about interactivity, you can just say to Jason, look, I don't want these people to interact with me. And luckily in the experience, we can see your nameplate above, even though you're not seeing nameplates, we can see your nameplate. So they say, if Wookiee the iBot wants to be left alone, we'll say, okay, Wookiee the iBot wants to be left alone, and we'll just leave you alone. We'll kind of make exceptions for people to make sure that they're getting the experience that makes them feel welcomed and comfortable. Yeah,
I say it, and I think Wookiee would probably agree. coming in and doing the hero role and not knowing what to expect or what to do, which is an awesome thing. But until like you're kind of halfway through like probably the first area, you're kind of like, okay, I get it now. Because I remember when we got down on the planet and they're trying to like talk to you, you're like, anybody hear that noise? And you're kind of like back to like focusing on that, like, and you're supposed to be like moving. It's just funny because you're like, am I doing this right? What should I be doing? And it's just once you figure it out and it clicks, then you're like, okay, now I know how I can have some fun with this. But
it was at first you guys were selling like a bum deal. So I'm like, what happens if I just run away? I'm like, nope, I don't know if you guys could hear me because I think in the video my audio was quiet for a little while. So I'm like, nope, I'm out. And I just started walking towards the cliffs, and then that monster thing started going off. I don't know if anybody even heard that. I'm like, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Bye. And then somebody started roaring. I was like, oh shit.
I didn't hear you say that, like, what if I ran away? So you actually said that? Or
No,
you
I
were
was
thinking
that.
that?
I'm like, what if I just ran off?
Yeah, we're like, where are you going?
I didn't say that out loud. It was like, peace.
Yeah. And then luckily the monster growled and you came back. And I guess if it hadn't growled, we probably would have followed you and been like, maybe he sees something. Go, Baxter, go follow him and see what's going on. And then, maybe me and Cholo would have improvised
I can just hear
something.
my inbox going off like, Superfly, quick, change into something. Chase him.
Like get a creature, bring it out of here. Yeah.
Wrangle that asshole back in the campfire.
Yeah, that open thing is like a Palnetter. Like people do sometimes they want to investigate, and there's a couple things here and there that you could, but it's as soon as we can get into the lab and get started, the better it really is. But if somebody wants to explore, we can humor them. But eventually, we do have to get into the lab and get the mission started.
Yeah, I was curious since currently you do like one main show on the Saturday, I think. Like, do you have like just for like production reasons and everything else? Like, is there like a set time? Like, are we wanting to get through this in an hour and a half? Like, if someone's like checking every corner, are you trying to like rope them back, or does it matter? Or
we do try to keep it moving because it's a combination of balancing what is good for the hero, what is good for the iBots, and what is good for any audience members that are watching on a live stream. Because watching somebody check every corner, I mean, I know there's enough video games on Twitch that they do have gamers that do check every corner and people do watch. But as far as creating sort of a narrative movie-like flow, which is what the MetaMovie is supposed to, that's sort of the aim, right? It's like it's a movie that you're starring in. It's not necessarily like a video game per se. So it's like keeping that flow of the movie is somewhat important. But that being said, we do have an award at the end that's an option for somebody who does check every corner. It's called the Explorer Award. So, we try to reward the type of play for somebody no matter what their play style. So that is a valid play style. And if they want to do that, we can support that. But we do keep things moving a bit just because it's boring for the iBot maybe to watch somebody just check every corner and play with everything. So it's a balance. We kind of feel it out.
Nice. Yeah, it just seems like so much. I know you got a couple of people working on it, so much going on, and to track all that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, these people got to eat lunch sometime, All the actors, people on stage are like, I want to go over there and hear that thing roar again, but no, these people got kids and shit.
Yeah, I think Craig's the only one with kids. He has a kid. He has a not a newborn at this point. I think it's a year. He's like a year or two old. So,
I just think it's so neat,
like how you just said it's a year or two old. I identify with that.
I just think it's so like you guys and Jason especially like you're so into it and like just every aspect because when he was onboarding Wookiee, I was just kind of playing around, and Wookiee and I were in Neos for like we're like let's hop in, make sure no bugs are happening when we're good, and we proceeded to sit there for like 2 hours just shooting each other in the face with the guns from the movie. And so when Wookiee was
your guys' gun,
so when Wookiee was getting onboarded, I popped open my secret stash and I pulled out the black purple gun you have, and Jason instantly is like, "What the hell? Like, how the hell?" He's like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And he like recognized it. And, like, it's the neatest thing. Because...
Yeah, I saw you pull that out. And I was like, "Well, I know which one has been here before."
I just think that's really neat that to that level of detail, like everyone like know, and obviously spend a lot of time with all this stuff. But I've been in other things where like people don't notice that about their own stuff, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, Sharkmere made it so that it's so Sharkmere is one of our techs as well, and he works on various parts of the project, which I'm sure Superfly, you can elaborate a little bit more on what each of the techs does.
He's like super heavy in the logics and the programming and everything.
I just know that he gave me a purple gun, and I was like, "Yay, I have a purple gun!" Because he likes purple, so like a lot of his stuff is purple. I was like, "Oh, I have a purple gun!" So nice. Keep going. I'm sorry, I just like purple guns.
Yeah. So he's he got brought on about the same time I did, because the movie was originally being brought together by the devs of Neos, but I think they were wanting to get on to doing more Neos-driven things or whatnot. So Shark and I, once they pretty much finished doing the main world, Shark and I got brought on, and Shark does a lot of the heavy logics, and he's basically whenever I have a question about anything, he's the guy that I go to. I'm pretty interactive with it. I make adjustments to avatars if there's anything that need to show up or any changes that happen. Logics, I'd like to say I'm fairly decent with logics, but this guy just happens to know like everything just like the back of his hand. So I was like, man, how do I, call this function? And he'll just be like, "Oh, you do it like this." I'll be like, "Dude, I just like struggled with that for an hour." So, yeah, he does a lot of the advanced systems, and then I'm more, I think my official role is like technical artist. So, I do like the avatar systems. If there's been any changes, I put the health system on there. We're probably going to reamp the weapons system here pretty soon, because I need to do that for my drone system. So Shark and I, it's mainly me, but Shark will probably give me a hand with that. But Shark's like the super tech, I guess, out of the whole thing.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. The solo run I did a couple weeks ago in the after party, you're like, "Check out my new drone system." You hit a button, all these drones just start killing everybody standing there. That's pretty cool. And I do like the fact that through
that did not start off.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the drone system did not start off as a drone system. It was actually adapted from Neos has like a competition they do every year, and I started this competition, and then I started working full time again. But my original plan was to make like a pet follower kind of thing, and I made these like really creepy little owl things because I was gonna do more Furbies, and they're like, "No, Furby's technically trademarked." So I was like, "Well, I'll do something else then." So I made these like little owl bird things that like if you try to touch them, their mouths will like or their whole heads will fold backwards like pivot on their mouth, and like the
So
idea was
creepy.
the idea was to
So
have them
creepy.
follow you around, and like if you don't give them attention, they'll attack you, and it was going to be this whole big thing. Then I got like really busy, and then one day I was bored, just waiting for a show to start, and I was like, what happens if I replace the bird with the drone? And so that's kind of how that started. And then I was like, oh, I can easily just change this to interact. So now it's like it'll look at anyone that's not a qual and fire upon them. And it's not a true AI system. It's just waypoints. They're just automatically generated waypoints. So, but like I kind of have that idea of once we get the drone system implemented, that it's just going to be like it'll just be a whole plethora of drones coming in, and that scene is just going to get a whole lot more chaotic, I think, towards the end, which is the goal for this whole thing.
Nice. Yeah, I love
We
how
thrive
there's.
on chaos.
I love that it mixes, acting chances to act for the guest star or whatever you want to call them, the star, and then there's combat, and then cello or axe will try and like, we're gonna go through some hallways here. What's your method? Like, how do you do combat? And you can choose to kind of do the Rambo thing or kind of hang back. So it kind of gives you the options. It's really neat. But I like how there's friendly fire. And going back to Wookiee and I shooting each other in the face for 2 hours, that's how I came up with my ending, I think. We were just like, oh, you can shoot yourself. Okay. But I like how, you talked about the second skin and how, you can kind of talk away issues that may be happening. But it's also like giving the player a second life or a reason to come back if maybe they're not good at combat. But I just think all of those things working together is such a unique experience, and it's so much fun just to run through there and play with you guys and like literally like act and play with you, and then like have some shootouts and things.
Yeah, it's always a fun time trying to gauge what somebody's into as far as their combat style and everything, and what they say and what they do are two different things. So yeah, we really do just kind of watch what the person does, and sometimes their behavior changes remarkably about halfway through because all of a sudden they got comfortable real fast. And so it really depends. Every show is different and it's unique, and there's this thing, I don't know if it's some kind of law of how these things work, but it seems like if I get in my mind or I say to the cast, say to Baxter and Cello or Craig and Ken before the show, I'm like, this person, I don't know, they might do this kind of play style or something. If I say anything like that, I am always wrong, and it always goes in the completely opposite direction. Like it'll be like, oh, we should really focus on this and that, and that'll be the one time that now that gets completely thrown out the window and we end up doing something else. So yeah, just staying flexible and making sure that you don't get too rigid ever. You just kind of keep it loose.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
And I bet, you guys are just hit over 50. I think we were 51 or 52 runs of Alien Rescue. So I can only imagine how nice it is to have, different groups in and like them doing different things. Because, you guys have like scripts and things, not that you can't change or alter, but I bet that just helps keep it fresh and helps you guys, be a little more energetic, because I can only imagine if every person was like kind of like not really doing much and it's just kind of then you guys are kind of doing the same story. I bet that maybe it doesn't get old. I don't know, but it seems like it might. I don't know what your feelings are on that.
My feelings are I'm a person that gets bored very easily, and if I get bored, I start creating trouble. Like that's pretty much, good trouble, but trouble. So I, if it was flat, like not flat, but if it was kind of the same every time, I would just start making trouble for myself and everybody else. But luckily, the audience members, the heroes, I should say, that come in and do the show, they've been all kind of different. There's been some trends as far as things that do stay the same. More people go heroic than go villainous. But really, it's such a joy that no two show is ever the same, and people do feel like they want to bring their character or their story to us, and we can collaborate with them in that way. Yeah, I would get bored if I was on a stage and doing the same musical or play, hundreds of times, 50 times. I would get bored, and then you start to get into trouble, and that's not good.
Have you had any?
Oh, go ahead. I don't know of any, little theater plays where they bring an audience member in and they're the main star. I don't think you. Would you be able to go back to like a normal theater experience? Like you just said, it would be kind of boring. Like how would that work?
Yeah, it's actually it's funny you say that. Yesterday I met up with since I'm actually visiting California right now, and I visited Deirdre Lyons and Stephen Butchko of the Ferryman Collective, and I was like, we were talking about like auditions and things like that, and I was like, yeah, it would be so hard to go back to that. You audition for a film or a theater show, and you're given the lines to say, and you can't really go away from that too much. You have to pretty much stick to the script. And I'm like, yeah, this project, it's so much creative freedom. It's my brain is working at all levels at all times. It's so stimulating. Yeah, it's kind of hard, like when you look at audition notices as an actor at this point, to say, oh yeah, I really want to do that project or this project. I still do auditions and stuff, but my heart is here. My heart is doing this kind of thing. With the MetaMovie and this kind of interactive project is really where I feel most fulfilled.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I honestly really want to see more projects like this go on, because I really, really want to partake in like some other kind of interactive storytelling. Is like seeing everything on the behind the scenes here, and like working with them to help get their lines in when everything was still in development. Like there's been times where I wish I was like back in the MetaMovie as like the hero role, just to run it through this way. It's like, hey, we haven't actually seen this, so let's run it this way or something, So I would really like to see more, and I know there's some that are kind of in the works right now, but
so we've done a few, but and they've been great. They've been interesting, but nothing has been on the level you guys are on. Like whether it's like just the production or the background or anything, like you guys are like way up here. And all these things have been great, but it's just like I think you guys are the most immersive and much structured, I'll say. So it would be nice to see more, because I personally, like, I've never been able to go to like a murder mystery thing in real life. I've always wanted to, but there's just never anything around me. So just that simple of a thing in VR would make me so happy. But like this is next level compared to that. But I would also like to see much more of these kinds of experiences and see if they kind of helped each other, like get eyes on all of them and just kind of make it more of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of at least my experience, from doing sort of immersive projects in real life, you bring so much of that to the VR versions of that. The cool thing about the VR version of what we do is it's got a lot of combinations of different types of genres, but I think primarily we take a lot of things from immersive theater, but it's immersive theater taken to another level, because there's not too many immersive theater shows that you can do the kinds of things that you can do in VR. And if you are on a spaceship and you're doing all this stuff, I mean, even if you're going down to Disney and doing their immersive experience with, some IP that I'm not going to talk about too much, you can't fly. You can't do all the things that you can do in VR that you do even in the most expensive corporate-backed project. So, yeah, we would love to see more projects too in VR where people are experimenting with different things in different worlds and really expanding out the genre.
I also
the couple that we've been in, they're really neat. I don't remember the name, but they're more like what's the word? Just like those little rides where you're riding around the car and you see an exhibit, and you ride around the car and you see an exhibit. You're just following along, and if you don't keep up, you miss out on all of it because they've got other people that are in there. So yeah, but I think those are cool. There's nothing wrong with them. But then being able to have a couple actors looking at you for an answer to a question or a decision, and what do you want to do? And it's like, oh shit, none of them have that dimension to it. So it's like another, just a layer of interaction. I don't know how much work it is doing one of those versus doing this. You back?
I think I'm back. Am I okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think I might have
froze up.
Yeah, sorry about that. I missed about the last 15 seconds. So
the bills are too high poly.
Well, I am in a hotel room right now, so it's like I'm sure the internet's going up and down a little bit. So thank you for your patience while I froze in place.
It's fine.
It was your second skin. Second sin.
Yeah, it's a second skin. Oh my God, my pills. Take the pill. Which pill is it? Is it the red? Is it the blue? Oh gosh. Ah!
No, don't take them. Those are
It's
eyeballs.
neither. They're gray. What? Oh no. Ah!
Don't OD on pills, BJ. I was just saying, the other kind of interactive experiences I've done, they're neat, but it's like you're following along with a group, seeing a bunch of exhibits. And I don't know how much work it is to do those that aren't as interactive. They're somewhat interactive, but they're all on their own little time frame, and they're not really waiting on you to pull a trigger or still. So I don't know how much more work goes into them, of course, but I would like to see a billion of these things going on. I would have no idea how to help get the word out. Besides, making grabbing people and throwing them into it. You got to try this. But
no, I think back to your point with the VR versus going to Disney World or whatever. There's a couple things to that because again, I live in Wisconsin. To go to Disneyland or World is a freaking trip and an expensive one, which I've done it a few times and it's cool. But so there's that. It's accessibility. But the other thing is, I think people are more apt to jump in and take a hero role and maybe try that acting. Whereas if you were actually going there's no I could probably go on a stage and do it. Not that I'd be good or anything, but I could just make myself do it. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that are that's a big no. But in VR, you're more comfortable. Right here, we're just kind of hanging out, so it's a little more easier to hop in and just give it your all there instead of being in front of physically in front of anyone. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean the immersive. I've been in some immersive shows in real life where they do a really good job of sort of pairing off audience members, and then the audience members at various points have to solve problems together, or they have to solve some kind of mystery or something like that. And you do get really engrossed in what you're doing, and if it's task oriented and you give somebody a task, it's they concentrate on that task, and that kind of brings them in to the story, I think. So I mean, hopefully, I think a good immersive experience, whether it's in real life or in a digital virtual world, they kind of, you have to be pretty good at sort of feeling out is this person a little bit on the shyer side, or they kind of want to get into the action, and then kind of give them what you think they can handle, and then depending on how they respond, maybe give them a little more, or maybe help them out and back off a little bit. I mean, it really depends. It really depends. But yeah, good immersive people, you feel out your audience, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Gotta size them up quick. But to PJ's point, it's a lot easier to join that as an audience member in VR, because if you're nervous and wet your pants, nobody can see it but you.
Okay.
Yeah. You can pick your nose too, and nobody would notice as long as you keep your controller away.
Sorry, what?
It's like, there you go.
No.
Wipe under the table. Good.
Wipe it under the
Oh boy.
Never sit in that seat, by the way. That's where Wookiee always sits. I wouldn't sit there.
Oh. It's not like Ren and Stimpy when they flip it upside down and you got that nose goblin sitting here.
Oh my.
No?
It's bubble gum. So,
Like,
how do you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, how do you find a bunch of actors that are like into this? Because and this might be secret sauce. Jason just has too much passion. I don't know. But if I was gonna say, we should try this, I wouldn't know how to build a team. Did everyone just? You two seem like you would have chased it down, like you literally did chase it down. But does everyone gravitate towards these kind of projects? Like the right people will find it, or is it a lot of work to build that? The group, like the solid group. Maybe it's hard to answer
I could kind of tell you how our group kind of came together, and I think that the nice thing about working on a project like this in VR is that people are coming from a variety of different sides. Like some people, they have a little bit of acting, and then they're really good with tech stuff, or they're sort of a jack of all trades or whatever. How I came into it, and I was the first actor hired back in 2017, is I answered an audition notice on this website called Actors Access, and it's like New York-based area actors. And I remember I was coming from an audition for some crappy student film, and I was just looking at these audition posts. I was like, oh, a VR immersive thing. And at that point I had done some immersive theater, and I had done a Ren fair, and I had done a couple of different things. And I was like, oh, that sounds good. And then I had the equipment at home because my husband had gotten an Oculus, the original consumer version Oculus in 2016, that summer. Yeah, the original Rift. And we had it in the house. I'd kind of played around with it a little bit, and I was like, oh, and then I thought, oh no, I'm sure they have lots of actors who really they're really good with this equipment or whatever. And then I kind of was like, what the hell? So I submitted. And Jason's big audition requirement at that time was like, meet me in high fidelity and let's have a conversation. And at that point, that was a really hard bar for some actors to clear, because they either applied and they didn't have the equipment, or they couldn't figure out how to get in or whatever. So I just remember I got into high fidelity. I was stuck in the floor for quite a while, and then I figured out how to get myself out of the floor. And then, I was like, okay, I'm ready to meet you, Jason. And then it was funny because he had a variety of tech issues. Like a couple times we tried to meet, and then finally it came together. So yeah, at that point it was just like an open door. He actually put out the call again to find specifically another female, because there were 2 female roles in this show. And how it ended up is that I ended up playing both of them because he could not find another one. And luckily in the heist, we did find somebody else and various people started to come through. But yeah, in the beginning, it was basically like you have the equipment, you have some kind of background in immersive or interact or anything. And it was like, great, and you're reliable, you show up, awesome, Now it's a little bit different. Ken and Craig both came in during the heist period, and I think he put out more audition notices. Ken's been in this is Kenneth Ruggio, who plays Baxter. He's been in VR for God knows how long. It's been, he's a VR person. So he came in and sort of initially a little bit doing more tech. And he also is a jack of all trades because he sings and he plays guitar and he can kind of do a little bit of everything pretty well. And so he came in, and Craig, I think, came in as a similar route that I did. But if you guys ever get him on, you could pick his brain. And Marinda came in for Alien Rescue, and she also has an extensive background in theater, puppetry, and a bunch of other things. So yeah, we all kind of came in from different ways, but everybody's talents sort of lend each other. As somebody who's like a straight actor, you can't do this. You need technical people. It's helpful if you have an actor with some technical, and you have some technical people with good acting skills. And the more of a mix you have, and the more diverse the skill set, the better it is, I think.
Yeah, it's true for most things, but probably really, especially scalpels. Like precision scoped into this.
The secret sauce that you were talking about, I think what most of that is that Ken and Craig, and there are several of us who have been working together since before Alien Rescue, and we started working on Alien Rescue in 2019, 2020. So it's like, I think just the length of time of working together as a team, you do get into a groove, and you can kind of push things to a different level because you're not necessarily guessing what the other person is thinking or what they might do. It's like you have that rhythm when you've been working with a similar group of people for a lot of years.
Yeah. You got to be able to fall back on people.
They're so reliable. Everybody in there, it's like, they're good improv. They're good at improv. They're good at supporting each other. And I think that's another thing. It's like trust. It's like, that everybody out there is trying to make everybody else out there look as good as they can. Right. And it's like, there's just an exceptional level of trust on our team. And I love it.
The dedication, because PJ said no spoilers, but he killed a character, and then the actor had been injured, and it was just like, thank God he got to not come back, and got to rest a little bit more. But wait, he was injured, and it's like somebody told the story. He climbed up
that's Ken
thing, and then fell
there's
off
a fort thing, and Ken is still recovering from his injuries, but yes, that was he showed up. Yeah,
Jason told me the one I was doing, he's like, yeah, he was really happy that you killed him because he's doing it from a hospital bed. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's a trooper, that's for sure.
And I think it was you, Nicole, that was telling us I don't know if they real Nicole Rigo.
Yeah, Nicole.
But I think it was you telling us in the after party that he fell off and broke every bone in his body. You were explaining it in such detail, and it's making my body hurt. And I'm like, he's still here?
He broke not every bone, but he definitely had
3-4
a lot of injuries, from that. So, but the nice thing is, he's alive. He's with us. We're really happy about that. Because there's you can't replace Ken. That's for sure. There's only one Ken, and he's one of a kind in the best way possible. So, he's finally back up and running, and as long as, of course,
figuratively, yeah.
Yeah, he's not running. He won't be running for a while, but he's running in VR. Sorry, Ken, if you're out there. That was a bad way to refer to it. But the nice thing about VR is that, of course, when you're doing a show like this, is like you could be seated, and there's a seated as standing setting, and he's doing the show seated, and that's okay. You know, you could do a lot of things.
Makes him dance real nice.
Yeah, you made.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Holy shit! I don't think I put that together before just now. Like in the after, you guys are explaining that, I'm horrified on his behalf.
And to that same point, like, I love that you guys, have different characters, kind of like doing different things. I don't want to spoil anything, but for me to kill him was like, I felt so bad. But I'm like, this is going to be the good storyline, and I killed him. And I just felt terrible, but I'm like, I hope he'll get over it. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know.
Yeah, so
because Jason said you can do whatever you want. So I'm like, let's test this a little bit.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, and that was a good choice, and we are actually very happy about that choice, especially on that day.
Yeah.
Sometimes, all I'm going to say is sometimes it takes a little bit more to kill a character permanently, but that day, I don't know, that second skin was really having trouble, and it couldn't possibly do anything to protect him.
Oops.
But yep. So that was a good choice. We, any choice you make is a good choice. We've had shows where it's the hero is the only person that makes it, and we've had shows that everybody makes it, and we've had shows that some people do and some people don't. So, yeah, everything's on the table.
Good.
That's awesome.
Shows where PJ puts his brains on the ceiling at the end for everybody.
That was pretty amazing. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, after 30 minutes of us shooting ourselves in the head and be going crazy, and he was like, "What if?" And I'm like, "Do it, yes." It'll be great.
And it just goes to show, like,
is I missed that. I missed that scene because I was too busy trying to like run the drone and everything, and I'm like, wait a minute, one of them's missing.
I was hiding down in the cells because I'm like, they're gonna try and make me come back. I'm not going back. I'm dead. Like, I don't want to go back to that child.
Relatable.
Wow. Okay.
So none of you guys, only Craig has kids. Okay, I'm starting to see why.
Yeah, I've got a dog. But yeah, no children.
But I love. I've been in you guys' Discord for a long time now. Well, I don't know, maybe a year, if that's a long time. But just to see you guys' passion for what you do, acting, the technical side, the movie itself, but even VR, because like, you guys just randomly like, hey, this is happening, and like I've run into so many other things going on in VR through you guys. Like Jason's like, come check out this these DJs in VR, and I went in there with him, and like it blew my mind. It was so freaking cool. Like just seeing you guys interact with other groups and other things, and just it's so neat. I can't, like, you guys are like my favorite group in VR.
Aww.
It's
Thank
so
you.
cool.
I am so terrible at keeping up with that Discord. I'm like
it's
in
hard.
a million different Discords. So
Yep.
like, I'm pretty active in our the crew, but I keep forgetting that there's like, it's more than just the crew. I need to get on there and pay more attention to that.
So when I joined in after
me
that show, yeah, paying you. So I joined after the show, and Ken said hey to me from his injured self who can't walk, and you didn't. I said hey. I said we could fix her. So I didn't get a Furby.
Once I get back on the computer, so I'll remedy that.
No, we've had the conversation.
AI Furbies, what?
Before we did the podcast in VR, we did everything in Discord. So we've had a Discord for like a long time, and in our general room, like there's so many developers in there that I kind of feel bad. Like we stopped kind of using it because I'm like, they're just gonna see us saying our stupid crap to each other and be like, what the hell is wrong with these guys? But there's, like you said, I'm in like 100 discords just, checking things out. But just to like have that and manage it is a freaking job, because we go back and forth. Like we should probably have a discord and try to build a community and do fun things and this and that. It's like, I don't have time.
We really value that on the on MetaMovie, because like the community, the Neos community and the people in our Discord group, our Discord server, it's like we have gotten so much help from people in the Neos community to like get things going. I mean, and to do different tasks. There's so many that you can't even name everybody. It's just people who have come in, they support the project. So we try to spend some time on Discord to keep the community going. You know what I mean? Because we really love our community and we really appreciate all the help that they've given us the last 2-3 years. It's really incredible how generous people are.
And that's why I was glad that I was in there, because the last show I did before Wookiee and I did one, you guys like, hey, someone backed out. Anyone want to do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm free.
Yeah, we were happy to have you. Yeah, it's a really great group of people, and people that come in and they just they do these little things, and they do these little tech fixes, and we appreciate them so much. Like there's Sectalt and Rampa and a whole bunch of people in the server that they have ideas, they throw things at the wall, and it's like some of it's really, really good, and we appreciate the input. But it's sort of this collaborative project on all levels, where we have sort of the cast and the crew, but then there's also the audience members on the various 3 levels of interaction: the hero, the iBot, and now the Twitch stream. And then there's also various collaborations within people who have come to see the show and say, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you did this, or wouldn't it be cool if we did that? Oh, I could make that for you, or I could this little thing. It's really, it takes a village, man. It's we really appreciate everybody.
That's one of the things that outside of like Discord and like just VR community in general, like it's kind of that all over the place. And it's like, we've had conversation with some devs. It's like, AAA studios are going to come in here and ruin it. It's like, I hope that never happens, but it's kind of inevitable. But for right now, that's how it is for most of it, and it's really awesome. Because we've had
it's a great time to be alive.
In Spatial Ape, we have conversations in there and just all these different devs would come in and just chat. Like we have a round table for devs once a month, and they just come in here and talk, and just like, I ran into this, and like 2 guys are like, here's how you fix that. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like it's so neat to watch. It's just intriguing to me.
Yeah, I was listening to your latest one at work the other day, and like when they were talking about like the quest and its limits as far as like the rendering is for triangles, materials, and all that, and then everyone is like, "Well, why don't you do this?" And he's like, "No, I don't want to do that." Oh, but you can use it like this. You don't have to use it for that.
Yeah, I only know like 5% of what the hell they're talking about most of the time, but I still find it intriguing. I don't know, it's weird. Wookiee understands most of it, more than I do.
Yeah, maybe half.
Well, we're over an hour. Not that we don't want to hang out, but if I don't want to hold you guys hostage either. But is there anything we didn't get to that you guys wanted to talk about while we're here? Or?
Tell all your friends about us. Come check out the show. Join the Discord. Check out the Facebook and the Twitter, Twitch, all that.
I'll share all the links in the show notes for the video and audio. So.
Yep, the MetaMovie.com. That's where you get your tickets. And we we would love to have you in. Yeah, fresh audience members are always good audience members. Those iBot tickets are pay as you can. So if you've got a desktop PC, no equipment, come on in, just do the pay as you can. We also really, really, really would like when we do streams to have people help us test those Twitch commands and really screw with us. Like I invite you, come and just screw with me and like say like, oh, what's gonna scare Z the most or what's gonna piss her off the most? Just throw it at me. I really want to see. I challenge all of you out there. Like, just do it. See what you can do.
And there's also the party option too, where you can get you and a bunch of your friends to do the show. The ones with fur have been, yeah,
just grab all your friends, hold them hostage, like for your birthday, and just say you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
make them pay for your ticket.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the group shows have been in about the $300 range. So, and usually we've been having them on Sundays, but of course there's some flexibility and the rate may vary depending on when and what kinds of things you want us to do. So, but it's in that range, and it's really, really a great experience. There's not too much you could do with a group of people for that amount of money, and I think that's that unique. And you'll have a blast. We'll make sure you have a blast. We want you to have a blast. So come on in and just do it. Become the star of your own movie. It's really exciting.
I have a Twitch feature request.
If you don't,
I want to be able to push a button and have Baxter wear like a Speedo or something. Just to mess with Ken.
He actually has a jacket that he could take on and off. I wonder, I should talk to Jason about making it just
man.
It just spazzes out. It's like,
well, it's a good thing you didn't make him dance like that.
$1 comes up out of his pants, like his scene there. Yeah, I donate $1 to on Twitch. Credits hanging out of his pants.
Oh. Yeah, I mean there'll be other, each time we do these shows, just if you've seen the show before, like if you saw it maybe at Venice as the work in progress, it's completely different from then. If you maybe saw it when we were kicking around Rain Dance, it's different every time, and we test new things every few weeks. On the show website, there's experimental shows, and those are usually the shows that we really kick things into high gear and try something completely different. So if you want a different experience, head to one of those shows. We'll make sure you have a good time, and that you'll be like one of the first to play around with something brand new.
Yeah, Shark and I are always trying to break it, so
yeah, it's like just push things until they break, and then we love chaos. We love to tell a story, and then the main point, like as long as the story keeps going, we're good. And as much as you want to contribute into the story, we're game. So come on in, enjoy yourself.
I highly recommend the experience. I've done it 3 times. I'm going to do it more. I just, whether it's just checking things out, exploring, or like trying to act, it's so much fun. Like I said, hanging out with you guys, you make it so much fun.
Thank you. You guys are a blast. You guys are real fun. We really enjoyed your show.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was fun. The after party was fun. The AI Furbies and the horror images, but it was fun.
That's what this space needs here is more Furbies.
We can put it. If you have,
we can add some more walls and put some more posters up.
Can we put like a big
instead of the
MetaMovie
heist,
logo?
have instead of the heist, like having the criminal guys, just put a Furby there, like on the face. Furby heist.
Or just still in the ski mask, just the Furby eyes with the little Nose thing peeking out.
Half of the beak poking out.
Yeah, this is what happens. Like you say stuff to Superfly, and then like watch. Like next time we're in, because we've got our next show is August 12th, so we've got a little bit of a break happening right now. But I know now that the next time that we're in the green room before the show, Superfly's got to come in with like Bandit Furby or something. So thanks, guys. Thanks a
That
lot.
exact avatar with the Furby head. That's great.
Well, I think the first time I did the movie with you guys, I think the after show was like in this little island like fantasy world with the like river going around the outside.
Oh yeah, they had the lazy river. So in Neos,
Yeah.
there are several teams that do really good work. There's a metaverse makers competition, so there's some content created with that. But yeah, that was Team Vibes, led by Ruggio and Princess in Neos, and haven't seen those guys in a while. But if you're out there, yeah, they helped test stuff during the rehearsal process too. Like a lot of people in Neos were just so generous with their time as far as you know, the more rehearsal especially that we can get in the world and like have people do different things, the easier it was to really make a show that's we can be flexible and also really cater to the user.
Yeah, I love the
We really
after
should
show.
try
You
and get
guys,
some of those guys back on.
Yeah. They're alive. We need to find them.
Oh, I still talk to Ruggio. I watch his Twitch all the time.
Cool.
yeah, we'll kind of end with the end show, or the after show. It was just neat that you give out awards like Wookiee was saying for things, kind of accomplishments, whoever did the run accomplished, and then you take pictures and stuff and hang out and talk, and then this guy goes flying by with Doc Ock arms, like it's just it's chaos every time, and it's more different than the movie. Like it's just one part of it, but it's so unique in itself, even aside from the movie. Like it's just fun. Like you guys are like, oh, look at this new thing or this new thing, and there's so much going on. It's like, wow.
I have a qual gun that's an instant kill. That one's always fun to bring out too.
And I was having a blast looking at all that stuff and just being around. I think that might have been you, Nicole. Somebody was like, "Oh, they're still here!" Like, hey, it's fun.
Yeah, we love it when
assholes.
people hang out and do stuff. I mean, I know Jason and Craig, they like duplicate weapons, they bring out prototype weapons, and people just enjoy shooting things. So, and we enjoy it.
It's awesome.
I think we were in there, even after everybody left, we were in there for another minute.
Yeah.
or two.
We started shooting each other in the face again, as brothers do.
Awesome.
But thanks to both of you for your time and just coming to chat with us and hanging out even more. But thank you even more for what you guys are working on, because again, like it's by far my favorite VR experience. It's just, again, I'm still thinking of it weeks later, like, oh, that part was so cool and this and that. So just keep it up.
Thank you so much.
We'll try and spread the word as much as possible.
It's so fun. I kind of want to go back and do it again because sometimes I was off talking to Baxter or Cello, and like something going on behind my back. I didn't see it. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like
Yeah, well, that's a different
slug.
thing every time, right? And it was like this challenge too, because PJ, you had just gone through it, and so it was like kind of had this idea. Okay, well, we're gonna sort of lead Wookiee a little bit more into the stuff that you already did, and kind of lead you into new other stuff that you didn't see.
Both noticed that and appreciated the hell out of that. It was so neat. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yep, there is usually stuff going on upstairs when the hero's downstairs. There's things. So yeah, like we just try to give you a different kind of experience, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and you guys were amazing.
The fact that you tailor it to stuff like that, and like we didn't. I mean, he picked up on it in the show, but like I don't know. I didn't know until you just said that, but tailoring it to like, oh, hey, he was just here. Let's give him, give him his money's worth. Give him his good run.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the slug with the electric bolts coming out. I didn't even see that thing like happen. I was just like looking around doing something. Probably kept opening my little galactic pocket thing, and then I turn on that thing shooting lightning at me. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! I had no idea. Fuck! What's this? It was a hoot. So.
Is feeding time over?
Yes.
I still have these flower petals the rabbit gave me. Like, what am I doing?
Like, what do you do with them? You take them.
Just
I need to take that system out of the world and put it. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just need to make the leaves self-sustain because that system for the leaves when you eat them is actually in the world, and I think it'd be neat to like spawn them in the after party, and then all right, it's the after party, woo!
Yeah, I mean, there is stuff like that in Neos. When they've done parties and stuff, they've had that kind of thing, like all sorts of things, mushrooms and like all sorts of things, like when they did those like Beat Syndicate parties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there's all sorts of stuff.
To the Between Realities podcast set with Skiva, and he's got a little basement where they have all these things that do all kinds of crazy shenanigans. It's like, okay. But like even during the movie, like Wookiee had his space pocket open. I don't remember what you call it, but I'm like, Wookiee, hey, your fly's open, and he just like looks down like, oh, shit.
I do remember that.
Like having like my grip button on my left hand was held in for some odd reason, and I would just like graze over that spot and be like, bloop. Like, oh shit, be hiding that. It happened like 5 times. Oh, it was just a weird thing when we were shooting each other in the face before we joined, like we were practicing just to make sure my Neos was working. He'd kill me, and then I'd respawn, but I'd have like my grip on my right hand would just be activated, and I guess when you spawn in the floor, my hand would be gripping the floor, and then I would be hanging from the floor under the thing, like over and over and over. I'm like, what is going on here?
Whatever world you were in had world grabbing enabled.
It's just the default, like whatever basic home thing. So I just kept falling through the floor, trying to shoot him through the floor and stuff. I'm a mess. Like trying to hide the flowers. I'm like, why do I have these things? And PJ's like, can't do your shit. Like my pedals are out. Sorry.
Well, thanks again, guys. Like, it's an honor to have you. You guys are so much fun. It's so creative.
Well,
can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, come back, cause more trouble.
Yeah,
really, make it chaotic next time. super chaotic. Now you've seen it, so now you can kind of like be like, oh, what if I do this? What if I do that? So
exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for having us here. This is really great, especially in this new space. It's really, really cool. Love it.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
I want to be able to hit a button and have tentacles come down and take Superfly away.
That is a fun.
We kind of need him. I mean, that would be fun to see, but we kind of need him. It's like, no, kill him. We need him so much.
I used to have a cube that would have that I could spawn everywhere, but it's since broken. I need to go back and fix that. It was funny just spawning it out and grabbing Cello just in random, like when we're in worlds not in the movie. He'd be like, no, not again.
Yeah, we're just so appreciative to you and Sharkmare and Rex, of course, all of our techs and all the ones from the past as well. It's just awesome team.
Yeah, I even like how Jason's like, I want the team to be on the podcast again, and I'm not gonna come because I'll talk over them all like I always do. So I'm not gonna come. And it's just
yeah, I mean, it is his brainchild. It's his baby. His his idea, his passion of like wanting to be in a movie like Star Wars or I said it, Star Wars. In the movie and being part of it and all of that. So it's we hopefully we held our own here today.
Oh yeah.
I'm having fun.
All right. Well, thanks
We keep
everyone
saying
for
goodbye,
watching and
so,
listening.
Yo.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
never told you the
Come see
cameras
the
right were
MetaMovie.
vendors.
Come see the MetaMovie, Alien Rescue, the MetaMovie.com. Yay!
Twitch. Make commands. Screw with it.
Yeah, please join us.
Try to make Z
Join
angry.
us. Yeah, try to make me angry, right?
us.
Join us. Woo.
All right. I've turned the camera off, Wookiee.
Woo. Thank you guys.
Well,
This
thank
was
you.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you want to grab Ken at some point, we'll try to, I don't know. If he comes on, we'll try to get, like, Marinda's really interesting. Craig's really interesting. Enverex can really talk tech stuff. Like, he's really cool too. So, yeah. If you ever want to have us
Anytime.
again, we'll throw some different people at you this time.
It's just interesting
Awesome.
how you all get involved and your passions are different and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, the people working day jobs. It's just fun to hear. Like, there's a different way to do it. Like, ooh,
There's always a
know.
different way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I better get going. I've kicked the two people I'm staying with in this hotel room out, I think, long enough. So
Oh, no.
I should probably find them
They're
and be like,
outside
where are
dying in
you?
the heat.
Yeah. They was like, oh yeah, we'll go to the store and we'll do this. And it's like, Jesus, they've been outside now for like 2 hours.
They're just dehydrated husks on the side of the street now.
We've used all the ice in the ice machine. Let us in.
Seriously. Yeah, my left controller's almost dead. So yeah, I will see you guys. Like, come back whenever you want. You know, if you want to just come in to the show or hang out in Neos or whatever.
Yeah,
we're around.
If there's anything we can never do to help, like test Twitch or whatever, like I'm up
yeah,
for
any
it.
of the Twitch streams, we would love it, because the last Twitch stream we did, poor Rampa was trying to tell people to do it, and I think the only person, my mom was watching, by the way. So the only person, not the only person watching, but the only person that was like, I saw like chat was, there were two people, Camilo, who did like a taping the day before, like he helped with camera the day before, and my mother, who has no idea how Twitch works, and so she actually like put in like dance after you had made Baxter dance, because she didn't understand the concept of Twitch commands. Like, she thought she could just make Baxter dance, and it's like, no, you have to actually put the exclamation point in, and there's specific ones. And she was like, you'll have to show me. It's like, yeah, I would show you, but I mean, I'm doing this. So anytime you see a Twitch stream and you're free, please. Yeah, a lot more would be cool. But yeah, anytime the Twitch stream is up, which is usually those Saturdays, and you happen to be around, or you're not doing anything, or you're picking your nose, Wookiee, whatever it is.
It better not.
Yeah, but anytime you want to come in to see a show too, it's like, we always, the more the merrier with the iBots, just, yeah, you're always welcome, cool. Is what I'm trying to say in my weird, awkward, like, way. All right, well, see you guys. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good week.
You too.
Yeah, and I'll just shoot Jason and I a message about if you want to see the behind the scenes. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to show you.
Oh yeah, because he's done behind the scenes tours and stuff, right, with different groups.
Yeah, I think he's taking people just kind of like through, and then like, oh, if you go in the no clip here, you'll see where Superfly frantically tries to fly his little drone unnoticed by everyone to push this one button here. I am in the process of totally optimizing that. So I don't have to do that anymore. There's some scenes where it's just really hectic, and Neos.
You're like, hold on, I'll get it.
Yeah, Neos is definitely the speed is based on your scale. And so the drones are scaled down, and so the drones are actually slower than like the people are. So you can press both sticks up to go twice as fast, but twice as fast is like walking speed for a normal avatar on an iBot.
Gotcha.
And yeah, we talked about changing that, and I don't know. I think at some point I'm just gonna do it for like my own little show running avatar, just because. Yeah, it just. Yeah. There's some scenes where like I get killed and I have to come right back as an iBot, and it's like, oh god, no clip, go through it and like hide behind like a case, and then when they start like, oh, are all the iBots okay? Then I pop up, here I am, I'm fine, don't mind me, I was just hiding. And then they're like, oh,
That's
good
funny.
job fighting that thing, and I was like, I was hiding.
All right, bye guys. Thank you.
See ya.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna hop on Neos for a little bit, so I'll catch y'all later.
See you, man.
Good
Thanks.
talking to you, man. Thanks for showing up.
Oh, I'm in the menu now. All right. Boom.